Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at a very interesting full anti-meta team for the current Jungle Cup meta. This is a team that I created myself and that is very much fun. Like honestly, this team was amazing for me. This is a team that I was saying as well that I think I actually got a 13-game win streak with this team and then had 2 losses and still won another battle. That's kind of where I end up. I end up at like close to 2,600 elo with this team, which is fantastic. First battle already won, we didn't even need to do a lot. But this team is around Whimsicott. And why Whimsicott? This is actually something that was more of a fun idea because back in the day as well on the channel, which I kind of would like to do more often as well, I decided to run complete nonsense, but that is countering the meta and try to see if I'm successful with it. And I actually had a lot of success with it back in the day. And I kind of stopped doing that because there was like a lot of, not as many people were thinking, okay, I'm gonna follow that as well and go for like something of Glitchxcity. Of course, Glitchxcity, you can run Talonflame if you want to run the team, and you have a team that's very much easy to build for yourself. But now I have a team here that is quite going against the meta. I basically never seen any of the opponent of the Pokemon that we're using here. I actually encountered one normal Glitchxcity, which was the main idea actually, which I had as well for Glitchxcity to use it in the meta instead of the Talonflame. Otherwise, I would use Talonflame. But basically, we have a full anti-meta team. We have Whimsicott, which is currently ranked 278 for this meta. We have Glitchxcity, which is currently ranked 114 for this meta. And then we have Ferret, which is the best, highest ranked Pokemon at rank 52. But not only this, we're also running funny movesets. At least we're running funny moveset on the Ferret. We're running a Brick Break. Brick Break is absolutely needed. I did not want to run Trailblaze for a good reason, and I still think it's a better decision because there is a reason for Ferret and why I ran for Ferret over any of the other Pokemon for this team. And the reason is because of Brick Break. Because I've been encountering so many Lickies that I just wanted to hit hard with super effective damage and drop the defense of it, which I can't do with the Trailblaze, shockingly. And yeah, we're going to be able to farm them down. In comes the Fortress, and this is another matchup where this is very much important because we are quite a bit weak to Fortress, which is kind of funny because we have a Fire type in the lead, but we're running Peck as a fast move. Again, I do think this team very likely does perform a bit better if you would go for the Talonflame in the lead instead of the Glitchxcity, which is kind of funny because we're on a 13-game win streak with this team, but it still, I think, would perform better if you would go ahead and put in the Talonflame in the lead just because it's going to be allowing you to be better up against the Fortress. And Fortress was a bit of an issue. A bit of another issue would be sometimes Piloswine in the lead because they know that I don't have a Fire-type fast move, and the Turk is in the lead. All of which are better matchups for Talonflame, and so I do think that this team would be most likely even stronger if you would run Talonflame in the lead here for that. But Glitchxcity is more fun, and I want to have like a fun team here. I wanted to counter the meta, and I was able to counter the meta. So, let's take a look at the gameplay. Let's take a look at how to play this team because, again, try out your Talonflame in the lead with Incinerate. Don't need to run Peck on this Pokemon either. And I do think it's going to work better. But here, this, for example, matchup against Togekiss. This is where things are a bit more difficult. And this is where also, I think, especially Shadow Talonflame has quite a bit of an advantage because you just do more fast move damage. Here, we are going to getting outspeed. Like, we're definitely always getting outspeed here from the opponent. They have basically no chance of kind of aligning ourselves here if they play at the 2-shield scenario. But basically, here we are going to be able to still get to another fly, knock them out, swap out of here into the Ferret. And because they are thinking that I'm going to run the moveset of Trailblaze, I will be able to bait them out into their final Pokemon, in this case Chestnut. But I keep the main star of this team still around here, which is the Whimsicott. So, this is the main reason why we're running Whimsicott here today, is because the meta itself is based around Quagsire and Gyarados, and as Gyarados is running the Aqua Tail plus Twister, which is both completely resisted here on Whimsicott, we are in such a good position to use this Pokemon to destroy anything right now. It is kind of crazy. Here, Quagsire against us, we still have a shield on the opponent's side. We have Seed Bomb, which is, by the way, the fastest kind of grass type move that they can get to in this meta as well, which is fantastic. And we're going to be able to go for the fly that we start up, knock them out, and win the battle with Glitchxcity. Next up, Gyarados in the lead. Alright, and here I usually try to get some energy on my Fletchinder. Energy on Fletchinder is really nice because it is very good against most of the Pokemon that are currently in the meta. And then comes the Camerupt. Camerupt actually quite a common Pokemon because the fire typing is actually quite nice in this meta. But what we see here is that we put them into a position where Ferret should be able to align itself no matter what the opponent tries to do here. No matter what they're going to try to do here, Ferret is going to be able to align itself. And this is going to be important because what you saw as well is that the lead was the Gyarados. And you know what we have in the bag? Literally the hardest answer against Gyarados. And now you wonder, okay, why is he saying that and still letting it go? Because I also have the option to get energy on the Fletchinder, which is absolutely fantastic in the current meta, by the way. Flying and fire basically hits everything. And I still had the shield left. And this shield left there allowed me to basically now swap into my Whimsicott, have a very nice matchup here. I need to get a little bit of an extra energy advantage as well. We're gonna knock out the opponent's Gyarados here, getting rid of the main threat against our Fletchinder, and we can see what they have in the back. As we have energy still stored, which is allowing us now to hit the Mamoswine for the super effective damage. And we're going to have still energy stored even on our other Pokemon. And as you're gonna see, they're swapping out. We win the battle immediately here, and we can move on to the next opponent. Again, Togekiss in the lead is actually not that great. Yeah, because they're going to outspeed us. They're always going to outspeed us. They have the cheaper moveset. We have no option really to change that. I wish there would be like a 35 or 40 energy move on Fletchinder because it would make this Pokemon so much better. But here, this is exactly why we have Brick Break on the Ferret. This is like literally the full anti-meta team here. Like we are running Pokemon that you wouldn't see at all otherwise. Ferret currently in this meta is absolutely not common. But with Brick Break, it has such a niche play right now. It's kind of fantastic. Here though, they're going to have a lot of energy still on their Licky, and so we are going to be forced to go for the Swift Cannon straight away. We either get alignment or we're going to be able to get the shield back. We're going to get the alignment, which I'm most likely happier about because we don't know what they have in the back yet. We saw of course a Togekiss, which you can go for a Swift against. We have some energy on our other Pokemon. How do we play that? They let the move go. Okay, I think I go into Whimsicott. Because, well, our other... Okay, never mind. Maybe I just go into my Fletchinder and just go for the fly, which makes maybe sense. Oh, wait. What I was doing here is actually I predicted what the opponent has in the back. I expect that they have, together with Togekiss, a Quagsire, because Quagsire is countering the weaknesses of Togekiss, so that's what I was doing here, and that was the right choice. Yeah, this is basically the thing. Quagsire Togekiss is a very common core in this meta. Forgot to say that. This is kind of where also knowing the meta and trying to read the meta is kind of important, because you're going to be able to get into positions where you're just going to have the advantage because they expected what they have in the back here. Togekiss plus, yeah, Quagsire is just very common. Here, 5-0, easy peasy. Again, I went for multiple 5-0s with this team. It was crazy. In comes here a Bomber Snow against us. This Pokemon is alright for us. We have a fire type at least in the lead. In comes the Lantern. Lantern is really common in the meta as well, and this is the thing as well, a lot of people don't expect grass-type Pokemon currently, and this is where Whimsicott is just shining. This little cotton ball is just destroying everything here. As you can see, we're going to be able to just go ahead and get energy. I don't need to throw it straight away, they can go for their own charge move first. I don't really care too much about it at all. Like, go for your Thunderbolt, get us low, hooray. I end up at 100 energy, which means I can go for a Moonblast against the opponents. A Bomber Snow, and I could even stop out of here because I have actually two good answers. We have Brook Break on our one Pokemon, and of course we still have energy on our Fletchinder. And I decided to just stay in here though for just trying to keep the alignment. At the end of the day, I don't know what is in the back. I think I got denied here, which is not really ideal for us, which is especially here with Icio not ideal. But they revealed they have Scrafty in the back, which means I win. That's it. Like, I win. Like, there's nothing they can do. Like, there is absolutely nothing they can do. I have a flying and fire type Pokemon against the grass and, yeah, ice, as well as a fighting type Pokemon. And so we are going to be able to get up to 2 charge moves. And with that, we're going to be able to knock them out without even having to ever showcase our Fletchinder. Just with, no, oh, what's it called? Third. Just our Fletchinder together with the Whimsicott was enough to knock them out, which is kind of mad because, like, those are the spicy Pokemon of this team. And even though, like, Ferret is also kind of spicy because, again, it has not the moveset that you would usually have. Here, I make a mistake, I think. I stayed in for a little bit too long, did I? I should have stopped out here to the Ferret straight away. I was a bit worried about Tentacruel, and they played it quite well. They go for the Acid Spray here. It's kind of unnecessary that I stay in there because they're going to outspeed me now, and that is not going to be ideal. So, yeah, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to decide to let the move go, hoping it's another Acid Spray. It wasn't. It's Scald. And so here, I expect them to outspeed us, and they don't. And so I just take a move here that I didn't need to take. And so I kind of screw myself over here in this battle. We're going to see the sub out into the Abomasnow. I am going to be able to get rid of the Abomasnow, but what they need to have in the back is basically Quagsire or I lost. If it's not Quagsire or the Gyarados, we lose immediately here because I don't have a chance of getting rid of anything else really with my Whimsicott. Could be, of course, a fighting type Pokemon as well, which most days is not going to be the case. Yeah, it needs to be Quagsire in the back. Or Gyarados. It's Quagsire. Good game. And this is why Whimsicott is so strong. Quagsire is absolutely everywhere. Gyarados is absolutely everywhere. And that means that Whimsicott is in a position where it can destroy absolutely everything in this meta. And yet again, we're going to be able to win another battle. Alright, great lead. Unless they're running a Volt Switch. This is another reason why it's kind of important to have Incinerate, Talonflame in the lead instead of Fletchinder, is because of a Volt Switch version of the Fortress, but even just generally Fortress can be a bit of an issue. Unless it goes up against Whimsicott. And this is so weird because, of course, the opponent is going to resist everything that we have, while they do neutral damage and they do stab damage with a fast move, and it's not nice. If you want to hit, by the way, the opponent here for neutral damage, you have the option to go for Hurricane on that Pokemon instead. So, as you're going to see here, there's going to be now, the Ferret coming in. We're going to have the Quagsire, and we're going to be able to win this battle as the opponent decides to forfeit. Camerupt in the lead is exactly where I want to face it. This is absolutely perfect, but they sub out into the Mantine. And I need to kind of weaken this Pokemon, because what we don't know is on what they have in the bag and if we can align ourselves. But I play this matchup practically perfect. What we see here is the Ice Beam coming through, but what I can do is I can go up perfectly 3 over Swift. Why is it so important? Because we know about the Camerupt, and we know the Camerupt is a Pokemon that has a 5-turn fast move, which means if I go for 2 fast moves here, I get there before they can go for any charge move, and I can force shields. And Ferret is bulky, which means we can actually still survive this. I didn't go for the move here because I knew that if they go for their own charge move, I lose it anyway because I lose the CMP tie. So I just thought they go for the fast move instead, just in case they would just try to go for the full farm down. Here though, they're gonna get the Rock Tomb off. In comes Gourgeist. I win. This is it. Like, this is all that you really need to know. Like, I win. There's nothing they can do. We can go for the fly. Goodbye. Like, literally. What else is gonna happen here? Yeah, the opponent forfeits. Bye bye. If I tell you this team has been dominating, this team has been dominating. Horrible lead for us though. This is going to be Togekiss again. It is better to have your Shadow Talonflame in the lead. I will not repeat myself, or maybe I will. I don't know at this point. Maybe I will repeat myself. Shadow Talonflame is better. But we have the Sideshow coming through from the opponent. And this again, like, we are sadly going to be outsped. We have the same fast move. We do a little bit more fast move damage, I think. But we are going to be outsped, right? We need 45 energy, they need 40 energy. This is as simple as could get, but they let the move go. They reveal the Licky, allowing me to align my Ferret, which is cool. I have Brick Break. Brick Break, super effective. Brick Break, nice. But Body Slam is coming through here, and they're gonna get to the Body Slam very fast, and I should have went for the Brick Break a little bit earlier, which would have allowed me to then align the Switch Clock a little bit more, which would have been great. But now, Brick Break is coming through, dropping the opponent's defense stat. And we're gonna put them into a good position, but they stop out into the Gourgeist. And this is kind of unfortunate because my best answer to the Gourgeist, both of them are kind of dead. But I get the drop onto them, I can go for the Fly on my Fletchinder and see on how things gonna go. Fly is coming through, we're gonna be able to get the shield from the opponent, but we don't get to another move, and here I make a big mistake. I should have went into my other Pokemon, I should have went into my Whimsicott. Why? Because of course they're going to go for the Seed Bomb first, as they knew about the Ferret. They didn't know about the Whimsicott. If I did this, I would have won this battle, and this was my loss that I had. This was my first loss that I had with this team. And it was one that I could have avoided. I could have won this battle if I just played better. That's so unfortunate because, guess what? I would have rather won this battle, and I should have won this battle. And this is how I lose like a 13-game win streak. Yeah, not ideal. Anyway, next opponent, Digger Speed. Unless they have Hyper Beam, there's nothing really that I have to worry about, but like, who's running Quick Attack Hyper Beam in the current meta? Oh, hi! Yeah, that does a lot of damage. This is doing way too much damage, as we're going to have the Brick Break now coming in, doing enough to knock them out though, which is perfect. And in comes now the Gourgeist. We're going to have the Brick Break coming through again. This is going to allow us to get them kinda, yeah, at least a debuff onto them. And they sub out into Ampharos. And I was thinking, alright, I'm going to be in a perfect spot now. I have my Whimsicott aligned. Whimsicott, if you didn't know, resists every single hit that Ampharos has, other than I think it learns Power Gem, which nobody is running. But it would learn it, which is the only move that I think is not resisted. And so Whimsicott on paper has a perfect matchup. But Whimsicott actually here is not going to have that unless we win the CMP tie. And I didn't know who's going to win, Ampharos or Whimsicott. Answer is Ampharos. And this changes everything. This is changing absolutely everything. That we lost the CMP tie is completely changing the way this game is going to go, because I have only the one Pokemon left, but I needed a shield in order to deal with it. And this is the big difference here. This is why we're going to lose this battle. We are very close to still winning this one. This was the second one I lost. I lost 2 back-to-back, as I said as well in the beginning of the video. Unfortunate, but yeah, we really can move on to the final battle. And in total, I think I dropped off a few of the wins that I had as well with this team here in today's video, because I want to keep it around like, yeah, the 50-minute mark. We're like close to more 17 minutes for this video. I had, I think, at like 21 in the beginning. I was like, I feel like that's kind of, I showed enough for the team at this point. But yeah, here we're going to have the Torokis coming in. I think I still survive a hit, but doesn't really matter anyway. We're going to be able to go for another charge move here. This is going to be the Swift coming through, and I got everything I really wanted. They can knock me out here for sure now. Now I'm not going to survive it anymore. But basically, I get energy and I try to catch the move here. Didn't work out. That's fine. They're not going to be having anything to knock me out though. Psyshock is coming through here. In comes Piloswine. I can go for the knockout. And I'm in a very good position now, because it's going to get the shield from the opponent or the knockout. Let's see. We're going to get the shield. I can swap out of here. And I get the free pack in. And I can shield this move up. And I can farm them all the way down. And I'm going to be able to win this battle like this, I think. Because what we see here is, yeah, another shield from our Fletchinder. The Isaac is coming through. They are shieldless. We are shieldless. They're going to go into the Altaria. And I should be able to go to 2 flies maybe even in time. Nah, most likely not. Let's see. We're going to be able to... We're going to race here. Okay, we're going to get to the 2 flies in time. And with that, the opponent goes down. And with that, we are going to be able to win the battle. Because, yeah, that's going to be it. There's going to be only the 1 HP Pokemon in the back. And this is going to be it for today's video. This was a fantastic team. This is an anti-meta team that I built myself. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like. And I will see you then. Bye-bye.